Ever wondered why some cars seem to have discovered the fountain of youth while others age like milk in a Texas summer? In the automotive world, true legends aren't born in marketing meetings. They're forged through millions of miles and countless coffee-fueled commutes. Today, we're diving into 13 machines that didn't just survive time, they wrote their own chapters in engineering history. The daily warriors, reliability doesn't need a cape. Picture this. While some cars are busy trying to be superheroes, these daily warriors show up to work every single day, packed lunch in hand, never calling in sick. They're the automotive equivalent of that one colleague who hasn't taken a sick day since the Clinton administration. Toyota Prius, the accountant. That learned to dance. Remember when hybrids were considered as reliable as a weatherman's forecast? The Prius changed that narrative faster than you can say, gas prices are rising again. Born in the era when Palm Pilots were still a thing, this hybrid hustler has been proving doubters wrong since someone first said, it's just a fad. What makes the Prius more reliable than your morning coffee routine? It starts with Toyota's hybrid system, engineered tighter than a drum. The Atkinson cycle engine isn't just efficient, it's as stress-free as a yoga instructor running at lower compression and temperature than conventional engines. That's why seeing a Prius with over 200,000 miles is about as rare as finding a Cowboys fan in Philadelphia, which is to say, they're everywhere, just quietly going about their business. But here's the kicker. Taxi fleets across America have been running these machines harder than a rental car at a college spring break. The battery pack? It's got a longer lifespan than most marriages in Hollywood. Toyota's secret sauce isn't just in the engineering. It's in the obsessive attention to component longevity. Every part is tested to outlast your neighbor's conspiracy theories about hybrid technology. Honda CR-V, the Suburban Sherpa. If reliability wore business casual, it would be a Honda CR-V. This Suburban Sherpa has been hauling American families and their seemingly endless supply of sports equipment since soccer moms were still driving station wagons. The CR-V's secret weapon? Honda's legendary K-Series engine, which has more staying power than a marathon runner with something to prove. The engineering is simpler than your grandma's cookie recipe, but just as reliable. Real-time all-wheel drive system? It's smoother than a jazz saxophone solo and just as dependable as your local mail carrier, minus the federal holidays. What really sets the CR-V apart is its ability to reach the 200,000-mile club with all the drama of a librarian's book club. Maintenance costs stay lower than your uncle's expectations for the Detroit Lions, while reliability ratings consistently hit higher than your blood pressure during tax season. It's the kind of vehicle that makes your mechanic consider a career change. They see it so rarely, they might forget what one looks like. Mazda Miata, the eternal youth with a PhD in physics. Remember when your high school physics teacher tried explaining momentum and balance? The Miata is what happens when those physics lessons decide to have some fun. With a reliability rating that would make your mother proud, 4.5 stars out of 5 from Repair Pal, this pint-sized prodigy proves that size doesn't dictate dependability. Think of it as the automotive equivalent of that one friend who never seems to age and still shows up to every party. Its secret? Engineering simpler than a game of catch, but more refined than your wine enthusiast neighbor's palate. The annual maintenance bill? Less than your monthly coffee budget at Starbucks. We're talking about the cost of a few fancy lattes per month. What makes it truly special is how it handles track days, like a champ, and then drives you to work on Monday, smooth as butter on a warm biscuit. It's the kind of reliability that makes German engineers scratch their heads, and Japanese engineers smile knowingly. Honda Odyssey, the family room on wheels. If reliability had a living room, it would be an Odyssey. With a J.D. Power score that makes helicopter parents sleep better at night, this minivan has been keeping families moving since station wagons were still cool. The J-Series V6 engine? It's got more stamina than a coffee-fueled marathon runner, and it's smoother than your neighbor's latest pickup line. Think of it as the Swiss Army knife of family transport. If Swiss Army knives could carry 7 people and half of Costco. The engineering here isn't just about reliability. It's about surviving the ultimate test, American family life. From soccer practice to cross-country road trips, it keeps going like that, bunny, with the batteries. Honda Accord, the blue-collar Bentley. Here's the car that's been showing up to work longer than most career politicians have been in office. The Accord doesn't just reach 200,000 miles, it breaks that milestone with all the excitement of a Tuesday afternoon oil change. It's the automotive equivalent of that colleague who never misses a day of work and still has unused vacation time. The secret sauce? Honda's engineering philosophy of keep it simple, make it bulletproof. The result is a car that's more reliable than your grandfather's advice and more dependable than your mother's Sunday dinner schedule. With maintenance costs that won't require a second mortgage, it's the kind of car that makes your accountant smile and your mechanic wonder if you've forgotten where their shop is. The workhorses. Ironclad reliability meets American muscle. When the going gets tough, these mechanical marvels don't just get going, they act like they haven't even noticed the challenge. These are the vehicles that treat a hard day's work like a warm-up session. Toyota Tundra, the blue-collar professor. If reliability were an Olympic sport, the Tundra would be taking home more gold than Michael Phelps in his prime. Here's a truck that makes showing up to work with 250,000 miles look as routine as your morning coffee run. In fact, more than a third of these beasts cruise past that milestone with all the drama of a Sunday drive. The I-Force engine? It's got more stamina than a marathon runner with something to prove. Toyota's engineers apparently designed this power plant with the same philosophy as your grandmother's cooking, overbuilt, over-tested, and guaranteed to keep performing long after others have called it quits. The durability testing program reads like a mechanic's horror novel, but the Tundra just yawns and asks, "Is that all you've got?" Speaking of real-world validation, have you ever noticed how these trucks seem to multiply at construction sites? There's a reason for that. Commercial users, those folks who treat their trucks like mobile offices crossed with workbenches, have been putting Tundras through the kind of abuse that would make lesser vehicles file for early retirement. Yet here they are, still clocking in day after day, like that one colleague who hasn't taken a sick day since the invention of the internet. Ford F-150, the American dream on wheels. Now here's a story of evolution that Darwin would appreciate. When Ford decided to wrap their workhorse in aluminum, skeptics came out faster than your uncle's opinions at Thanksgiving dinner. But this all-American icon had an ace up its sleeve. Engineering that's tougher than a $2 steak. The EcoBoost powertrain story reads like a tech startup success story, except this one actually delivered on its promises. Remember when everyone said a V6 couldn't do a V8's job? Well, this engine has been proving doubters wrong longer than social media has been proving people can argue about anything. The real kicker? These trucks are holding up in fleets across America like they're auditioning for a reliability contest. The aluminum body innovation wasn't just a weight loss program, it was more like a complete lifestyle change. The truck emerged stronger, more capable, and about as rust-prone as your grandmother's cast-iron skillet. Fleet testing data shows these trucks taking punishments that would make a medieval torture chamber look like a day spa. Toyota 4Runner, the mountain goat, with a mechanical engineering degree. If reliability wore hiking boots, it would be a 4Runner. While most modern SUVs are about as rugged as a shopping mall escalator, the 4Runner stuck to its guns like your uncle sticks to his back-in-my-day stories. At its heart beats the 4-liter V6, an engine so reliable it makes Old Faithful look like an unreliable sprinkler. The frame design philosophy here is simpler than a game of tic-tac-toe, but more bulletproof than your grandfather's investment in IBM stock from the 70s. Every component has been tested tougher than a drill sergeant's patience. The suspension? It's got more bounce-back ability than a Wall Street stock after a Federal Reserve announcement. What really sets this mechanical mountain goat apart is how it handles abuse. Take it off-road and it feels more at home than a bass pro at a fishing convention. The component longevity data reads like a statistics professor's dream. Predictable, reliable, and occasionally boring, just the way you want your vehicle's reliability to be. Toyota Sequoia, the gentle giant with an iron will. Think of the Sequoia as the 4Runner's bigger cousin who went to business school but still knows how to change a tire. It's what happens when Toyota's commercial-grade engineering puts on a suit and learns to coach Little League. This is the SUV equivalent of that neighbor who looks like a banker but builds custom motorcycles in his garage. Built on the same platform that's tougher than your mother-in-law's opinions, the Sequoia brings family-friendly features to the durability party. The engineering team apparently took one look at normal family vehicle standards and said, "Hold my green tea," because this thing is built to handle everything from cross-country road trips to teenage driving lessons with equal aplomb. Long-term ownership data suggests these gentle giants have more staying power than a marathon runner with something to prove. They're the kind of vehicle that makes your mechanic consider a career change, not because they're hard to work on, but because they see them so rarely, they might forget what one looks like. The durability testing program reads like an obstacle course designed by someone with a vendetta against cars. Yet the Sequoia handles it all with the same unflappable demeanor as your dad handling a family crisis. Calm, capable, and surprisingly prepared for anything. Luxury legends when engineering meets excellence. Mercedes-Benz W124, the professor of perseverance. Remember when "they don't build them like they used to" wasn't just your father's favorite saying? The W124 Mercedes, built through the golden age from '85 to '96, is the rolling proof. This wasn't just a car, it was an engineering thesis with headlights. Back when MTV still played music videos, Mercedes engineers were busy creating something extraordinary. A car built with tolerances tighter than your uncle's wallet at a family dinner. The result? A machine that treats 500,000 miles like it's merely the break-in period. These German tanks were built during an era when Mercedes accountants apparently took extended vacations. Every component was engineered with the same attention to detail as a Swiss watchmaker with OCD. The door closing sound, more satisfying than winning an argument with your teenager. Toyota Camry, the reliable revolutionary. While the Germans were over-engineering door hinges, Toyota was quietly revolutionizing what Americans expected from their family sedans. The Camry became more American than apple pie, if apple pie could run for 300,000 miles without complaining. The secret sauce? Engineering simpler than your grandmother's meatloaf recipe, but more refined than a sommelier's palate. Toyota's approach to building these machines involves more testing than a hypochondriac at a medical convention. Every component gets scrutinized harder than a teenager's excuse for missing curfew. The manufacturing precision story reads like an engineer's fairy tale. Tolerances measured in widths smaller than a politician's margin of truth. The result is a car that's more reliable than your mother's Sunday dinner schedule and more dependable than gravity itself. It's the automotive equivalent of that friend who always shows up on time, never forgets your birthday, and somehow never seems to age. The Immortals, engineering legends that refuse to die. Toyota Land Cruiser, the unkillable legend. If cockroaches have a vehicular spirit animal, it's the Land Cruiser. Born from the same philosophy that makes Japanese katanas legendary, this mechanical samurai takes reliability as seriously as your tax accountant takes April deadlines. Let's talk engineering, where most luxury SUVs are built to handle suburban warfare. Read coffee spills and soccer cleats. The Land Cruiser was engineered for actual warfare. The annual maintenance bill might make your wallet wince at $1,200, but consider this. You're maintaining a vehicle that treats the Sahara Desert like a day spa and the Arctic Circle like a refreshing dip. The testing program reads like a mechanical torture chamber designed by sadistic engineers with too much time and coffee. Every component gets tested harder than your patience during a DMV visit. The result? A vehicle that makes other reliable SUVs look like they're built from recycled soda cans. Lexus LS 400, the game-changing perfectionist. Picture this. It's the late 80s. Lexus engineers are holed up in a room, probably consuming enough green tea to fill Tokyo Bay, with one mission: build a luxury car that would make German engineers spill their beer in disbelief. The result was the LS400, featuring the legendary 1UZF EV8 engine, a power plant so over-engineered it makes NASA look casual about redundancy. This engine was built with tolerances tighter than your uncle's stories about walking to school uphill both ways. The proof? Ask Matt Farah, whose LS has racked up more miles than most commercial airlines, cruising past 900,000 miles with all the drama of a librarian's book club. The engineering behind this feat wasn't just thorough, it was obsessive. Each component was tested to standards that would make a Swiss watchmaker say, maybe dial it back a bit. This wasn't just a car, it was a declaration of war on the very concept of mechanical failure. The kind of vehicle that makes your mechanic consider a career change, not because it's hard to work on, but because they see it so rarely, they forget what one looks like. The story of automotive reliability isn't just about metal and oil. It's about engineering philosophies that stand the test of time. As we move toward an electrified future, these legends remind us that true reliability comes from obsessive attention to detail and uncompromising standards. Want to dive deeper into mechanical marvels? Don't forget to subscribe for more tales of engineering excellence. Next week, we'll explore cars that barely made it past their warranty. And believe me, those stories are just as fascinating. Click the link below to join our community of gearheads and engineering enthusiasts.